All right, welcome back to Game Hydro. We are taking care of Chapter 10 in Cell Survivor right now, which is the Fox Beauty. We had to backtrack a lot for this one, but I've been seeing a lot of requests for a guide on how to beat Chapter 10. So I'm going to try and break it down as best as possible, and I know exactly the skills that I used in order to beat it when I did beat it. Didn't have special effects tablet available, but sterile swab massage stick is completely useless in a level like this where your character's in the middle of the screen. However, sterile swab, quite useful. What is the least impactful skill? I would say it's global cooldown, so I'm going to go with that because I'm in hell mode right now. All right, let's go, Fox Beauty. Size boost is paramount when it comes to the cotton swabs. Now I'm going to let it progress a little bit. I'm going to go to high speed. And we've got a completely round shape that the Fox Beauty is putting out. So in this one, bubbles are also going to be extremely useful because the round shapes are the best for bubbles. Matter of fact, there we go, bubbles. So, and thankfully, the disinfectant bubbles are something that you get from the beginning of the game, basically. They're a completely basic skill, but also completely effective. Rapid ejection, increasing the flight speed on this level, with the bubbles in general, I don't really care for because it doesn't increase the damage dealt at all. So, bubble bounce count, I'm fine with that because that eventually leads to more bubbles on the screen at a time, therefore more damage dealt. Damage boost, obviously, to the bubbles. Now, I don't really care to increase the effectiveness of the capsule too much. The only one of these orange skills that is available to you at the time, as far as I know, the only two rather, are going to be the capsule skills. So I'm going to go Heart of Ice because I like to slow it down. Now that one semi-permanently has the virus going 20% slower because it will cause random hits from the capsules to decrease the speed of the virus by 20%. Out of these, let's go acupuncture for now because it shoots out a long distance and it can be aimed just as easily as the capsules, and you can really you can have a very effective strategy by boosting the shot quantity. But I'm not going to boost the shot quantity now. I'm going to go bubble launch quantity because the main goal here is to completely flood the screen with bubbles. Let's go cotton swab, damage up 40. Cotton swab isn't the most important thing on this level, but I would say it's about the third most important skill behind the bubbles and the medical tower. Power of match 3, damage increased by 100%, flight speed by 100%. That damage boost obviously sells it. So we're going to kind of let things play out a little bit, boost the acupuncture shot quantity because that in itself just boosts the overall damage by 200%. Critical damage boost, let's go with that. And then the small medical tower will be extremely effective once the thing gets closer to you. And it will get closer to you pretty quickly when you're first playing the level. So that's kind of what you want to go with, is the small medical tower. Even more lasting, simply because it makes the medical tower last longer. And the medical tower does tons of damage over time by simply putting these lasers out and having the virus crawl through them. So the more lasers you can get on the screen, the better. Now here's a boost quantity upgrade for the bubbles. Like I said before, you want as many bubbles flying around the screen as possible at the same time. I don't even remember if the spinning daggers are available or not at level 10, but if they are chapter 10, but if they are, I would consider that to be the third most important skill here for this specific level, behind number 1 being the bubbles and number 2 being the medical tower. The reason that they're third is because they don't have quite the range that the medical tower does, but they can be upgraded to have more range by increasing the dagger size. Capsule quantity +2, especially in the early stages, that's pretty effective, so let's go with that. Capsule quantity +2 again. Now you got 5 shots that you're firing at the same time. More bubbles the better. Medical tower quantity. So the more you boost the quantity and boost the cooldown times, the more, where am I going with that? The more lasers you're going to have on screen at the same time, which, even though they're fairly randomly targeted, that will give you a better chance to do all kinds of damage over time to the virus. And this is the first of many viruses in the game that are completely round, including Chapter 36 is completely round, as well as the Golden Pig Daily Dungeon virus. Difficulty level 4 is completely round. So it's a good skill to know how to use. But that is it for Chapter 10, the Fox Beauty. Yes, the power level right now for us is crazy high, but those are the skills I used to beat it when I was freshly playing the level early in the game. So that's why I tried as hard as possible to avoid the advanced skills that you unlock later in the game, or with in-app purchases or things like that. Not to mention, I'm on Chapter 41, and I still, for levels that I'm in the middle, I still use primarily the spinning daggers, the bubbles, and the medical tower, and to a, well, not to a lesser degree, the cotton swab, the spinning cotton swab, with all the upgrades that you can get that increase the duration and decrease the cooldown time. The spinning cotton swab does a completely outsized, overpowered amount of damage, and that makes it super, super effective in this game. The other skills that you get later in the game, I don't really use. I've got 2 legendary skills, don't really use them. You can watch my tier list video to see why. The Scalpel, Satellite Storm, I don't find super effective. The hair, not super effective. The defibrillator, meh. In fact, the defibrillator is terrible. Magic Book is pretty good, but that's the skill that you got to make an in-app purchase in order to unlock. And yes, you can unlock it for just $1, but to me, it's not one of my top 5 skills, so I don't use it too much. Tadpole, pretty good. Band-Aid, pretty decent. Hyperostosis and Snail Dragon Power, fairly effective. So I find the more common skills to be the better ones in this game. All right. Thank you for watching. This is Game Hydro. Please like and subscribe, and please be sure to check out our other videos about this game, about Cell Survivor.